Don't let go of what you know, what you remember of so-and-so. This, that, all that bric-a-brac, you keep it under your hat. Don't let it fly away. It's your yesterday, your only passport to your future life, your husband, your wife, your 100 kids who escaped from that jam jar without a lid. All the bits and pieces that make up you, and memory's your only clue. To remember is to pray, I heard him say, and yesterday's tomorrow is today. So, reach inside your head, resurrect the dead. Whatever made you think they'd gone away, if you listen, you will hear silent voices drawing near. And yesterday's tomorrow is today. Yesterday's tomorrow, it's today.
Passing the Tower of London, 5,000 fascists rally to their mobilization for the much advertised march through the East End.
The United States is a monster out of control. Unless we challenge it with absolute determination, American barbarism will destroy the world.
Young people feel that they are no longer being defined by their achievements, but by the postcode that they live in. And this mentality has gone too far.
I've waited too long for justice to be handed down for my people, and it's time for me to make a change in the only way that people are going to listen to me, and I'm going to do it peacefully.
I get it, and I will fix it. And I want to say,
my father, Mick. There he is. He was the person who had power over me. He was a member of the Hackney Gang, a group of 6 friends that included the Nobel Prize winning playwright Harold Pinter. Maybe some of you have heard of him. And Henry Woolf. There he is. God, we lost Henry in November. 60 years, a member of the Hackney Gang. Then there's me. Hello. I'm Jeremy Goldstein, son of Mick, son of Beverly, son of the Hackney Gang. One of the few and the far between, according to Henry. Harold, Henry, and Mick, they were born and raised within 100 yards of each other in Clapton in East London. Harold was an only child, Henry one of 3, Mick one of 5. His parents, or my grandparents, had a baby wear shop in Homerton. That's my Uncle Sid. During the war, they were evacuated from the Blitz. Henry, Mick, and Sid, they were sent to live with Madge and Hilda in Upwell near Lincoln. Harold, he was sent to live in Cornwall. After the war, they returned to London and they became friends for 60 years. In the 1950s, they discovered artists like Louis Buñuel and Samuel Beckett. In 1957, Henry directed Harold's first play, The Room. He was the original Mr. Kidd. Before that, in 1955, the 3 of them saw the first performances of Waiting for Godot at the Arts Theatre in London. Waiting for Godot, people. Yes, come on. Let's hear it for the boys. Yay! Woo! Dad died. My father died in 2013. I remember reading those words in his obituary, Truth to Power. That was when I got in touch with Henry. I wanted to know more about their lives, more about that ballet between them, and why those words had become so important to Harold and Mick and the rest of the gang. Henry said they were a bunch of solipsist survivors, larking about the East End, their lives central to the workings of the universe. Don't forget the diver. Keep your eye on the ball. Ta-ta for now. Just imagine living in London in the 1950s at a time when the Holocaust still loomed and those bombs, those atomic bombs had incinerated Nagasaki and Hiroshima as if it were yesterday. They thought they might be the last of their generation. No future, no children. Their world, it was infected. But did they agonize over that until the wee small hours? Discuss their unhappy fate? No, they were having none of it. Not a bit of it. There was no one quite like them, no one the same, bowling down the alleyways ahead of the game, masters of their universe, kings of their parks. They had poems in their pockets and the world up their arse. Ready for an argument, ready for a laugh, ready for the world to try and cut them in half.
Uh-oh, here come the fascists. There go the cops. Better sidle down a side street till the aggro stops.
But love is on the menu, knocking on the door. Lovely girls with dreamy eyes, but there's something more. Somewhere in the bloodstream there is something more. A singular equation, a riddle-me-ree, that bound them together and set them free.
A subterranean signal we knew we could trust, deeper than desire and that old tart lust.
Reaching out over continents, years and miles apart, they never squeezed their juices dry or shriveled up their hearts.
We were solipsist survivors with our lives in our heads. And when we heard each other's voices, we were watered and fed. When we heard each other's voices, we came back from the dead.
The gang wrote each other constantly. Poems, plays, letters. Harold even captured their lives in his one and only novel, The Dwarfs. You see, Mick, my dad, he'd invented this mythical world of dwarfs. And there they were, in the novel. Metaphorically speaking, the dwarfs symbolized the difference between what is real and what is unreal. What is true and what is false. That dark glass on the other side of the lake. He wrote me about them. He did. He wrote me about them in 2002. The letter. Dear Jeremy, I've read what you sent me about the dwarfs. Henry and I still have the original type scripts. What's all this about I'm organising to see it soon? Why not just plain I'm seeing it soon? Perhaps your secretary needs to take a basic course in English. When it was written, I had many different jobs as distinct from Henry. I was never aware of Harold doing anything but acting and writing, although he did look after the boilers in the block of flats when he was first married to Vivian. Money was always very short. When isn't it? I worked as a porter on Euston Station and clearing the tables at the open-air cafes in Regent's Park Zoo. I had many other jobs, too numerous to mention. I never lasted very long in any of them. I never considered myself a normal-waged working man, and I don't think Harold did either. Later, things changed, of course. I grew up. But I never knew who or what, if anything, I was looking for. Certainly not wealth or security. I found uplifting moments in music, literature, cricket. And I found these at Hackney Public Library, Conway Hall, Lord's, or the Oval. And although such experiences were always lonely ones, it was possible to communicate such moments with the people I grew up with in our gang. Contact with other beings, male and female, were always an extension of these original needs or discoveries, and so were often fraught with sudden, painful reversals. But very seldom with Harold. We seemed to have a sense of where the so-called boundary of privacy was, and we rarely crossed it. We would need, it seems, to have travelled quite a distance to get there. Yet over the years, my feelings for Harold have grown, and he remains, after all, one of the very few of my friends. Now, your question whether I had delusions about dwarfs is irrelevant. They are manifested in the novel and then in the play. They are what they are. Whether I saw them or not is beside the point. Somewhere, behind a door, there were these dwarfs. Just as in the desert over the next heap of sand, there is a harem of beautiful women. I have seen the dwarfs. I did. I saw their newspapers, their apple cores, potato peelings, their dead fetuses in their formaldehyde, their axle grease, their broken alphabet, their carcinomas and sarcomas, bookends, talus minims, broken strings, gaskets, stud valves. I even saw their rancid sweets. The sun blinded them, and the moon made them moan. The truth is a precipice, a grave into which we all fall into eventually. We are on a downward path. Love, Dad. Well, he was right about one thing. The truth. It is a grave. We all fall into it eventually. There's no escaping it. No, he knew. He was in it. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, hop. Yep. That's it. He put cobwebs on my pillow, crap on my floor. He's my lousy indoor flower, I can't take anymore. I scream out the window, I shout out the door. He's my lousy indoor flower, I can't take anymore. I can't take anymore. I can't take anymore. I can't take anymore. Yeah. Woo. Yep. I'm standing at the center of the turning world. Nothing exists until my brain uncurls. If love comes calling, is it wearing a dress? If it sets my mind on fire, I couldn't care less. But look under the mattress, who's that flat on the floor? I'm the boy in the bangles, I don't live here no more. I bring down the window, I slam the front door. If they knocking on the window, I don't live here no more. I put cobwebs on my pillow, crap on my floor. I've become my indoor flower, the one that I adore, 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 the one that... Dad and I, my father and I, we would fight. Boy, how we would fight. It was almost always over the most pettiest of grievances, and I always thought that I was the one to blame. That made me feel like a loser. I couldn't overcome my feelings of shame, failure, self-loathing. He broke my heart. He broke my heart. He had become my black knight. After years of arguing over who did what to whom, the money, the drink, the divorce, we were estranged and not speaking. In 2012, he developed a brain tumor, and I discovered large clumps of Kaposi sarcoma lesions all over my legs. I grew up in the 1980s, at a time when the KS, the Kaposi sarcoma, were known as the kiss of death from AIDS. Dad, he was the first person I ever told. That was in 1999. I remember him rolling his eyes as if to say, well, son, it was bound to happen sooner or later. 20 years. HIV. I had become very ill. My marriage was breaking up. I was practically bankrupt, unemployable. For 3 years, I ended up on chemo, smoking meth to numb the pain, the money, the meth, the divorce. I had been erased by my own father, and I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to kill myself. In a rare moment of sobriety, I wrote him, I wrote him in an effort to try and patch things up. I even managed to avoid the cliches and the pitfalls of blame. He would have understood that. But sadly, my letter arrived the day he died, and he never got to read it. Our lives forever frozen in the past, and I was the one who had to live with it, or so I thought. In the aftermath of Dad's death, I discovered that he wanted to become a writer. I read your sunset songs of passion longing. I feel your hearts that others' souls embrace. Hear me, this dance with heart's life seeking cries, seeks out the love that plundered your dead eyes. He wrote that. But such was his loyalty to Harold and Henry and the rest of the gang that it was his pride that prevented him from risking failure in front of his best friends. At last, it all made perfect sense. I finally understood. We don't always grow up to be the person we want to be. And this had made him a frustrated man. His burden cast a shadow, and my father was never a man that could look in the mirror and say, "This is who I am." As time went on, I was surprised to discover that our relationships with our loved ones continue to evolve, even in death. The dead, they may be invisible, but they are not absent. They live on. They live on inside of us. eventually I finally found the courage to just let all of that go. And I did. I just let it go. And I discovered a love and empathy for my father I'd never experienced when he was alive. For the very first time in my life, I began to feel like a winner. And my father, Mick, he finally became my hero. These days, speaking truth to power is widely accepted to mean saying something to those in a position of trust or authority who don't want to hear it. Is it to your lover, your brother, your boss, your banker, your mother, your sister, yourself, your father? Is it an act of love or an act of war? Who has power over you, and what do you want to say to them? So, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have invited Rotherham's finest, Rotherham's future, to respond to this very question. So please, make them feel welcome and show them the respect they deserve. Let's have a big Rotherham cheer for Evie. Yes!
OCD, you can sod off now. Leave me in peace and don't even think about finding anyone else to bother. Enough with the nitpicking, the niggling, the nagging, always ordering me to do stupid things that even I can't make sense of. You make it so I can do nothing but accept my fate, listen and obey. And if I don't, you threaten me. You tell me that everyone I love will die. I don't know why I must flick the light switch on and off in multiples of 5, 10, 12. No, that didn't feel right. Yeah, I still do it. I don't know why I need to wash my hands again and then again 5 minutes later when I haven't touched anything dirty. Yeah, I still do it. I don't know why I need to keep rattling the handle of my window, checking that it's locked and unlocked again until I feel satisfied. Yeah, I still do it. I don't know why I assume everyone has something contagious, so I refuse to shake people's hands or kiss people even if I love them. Yet, I still do it. All I dream for in life is to one day be able to close my eyes and sleep whenever I wish, like all the so-called normal people, without being terrified by your threats. That if I don't walk on the cracks of your thinking, terrible things will happen. That if I don't follow your commands, I might go blind, or my whole house will flood, or my family will burn alive. What is this constant, compulsive, intrusive obsession with controlling what must be done for me to be able to finally relax and move on? So to you, I say, sod off OCD. Let me finally live my life free of your relentless, nauseating script like it's 3 years ago, when I didn't even know who you were. When I could play in the snow without panicking about germs, and I could take a single sip of a drink without needing to gulp more until it felt correct. Leave me and all the other people that you traumatized alone. I wash my hands of you.
Woo! Yeah! Thank you, Evie. Beautiful. Please welcome to the stage, Martin. Woo!
For me, I started realising I was trans when puberty first kicked in. First I was like, maybe I'm a lesbian, maybe I'm bisexual. I'm not like other girls, I'm quirky, I'm different, which is a thing I have grown to hate. Then after a while I realised I am not like other girls, because I'm not a girl. Before I started hormones, I was thinking things like, I'm not masculine enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. And then I thought, I'm not going to work to a predetermined list. I'm the only one who gets to define what makes me, me. To get referred for hormone treatment, you get asked a lot of invasive questions. And to be honest, they did make me doubt myself. It's fair enough. They want you to be sure what you're getting into. Changing your body is a huge thing. I knew it was a life-changing decision, but it takes a lot out of you. With all of the questions, you have to actively define who you are. And that's what I did. I stopped listening to other people's ideas of me, and I started to follow my own. It's not a bad thing to question things, but you have to live your life the way that is true to you. I remember I found out about a pronoun called thon. It was coined in 1858. It reminded me there's always been people like me. It is a singular, non-binary pronoun. It's short for that one. Yeah, that one. And it appeared in the Merriam-Webster Unabridged Dictionary from 1934 to 1961. Feels to me it was used along the lines of reclamation, so I'm reclaiming it here. My true self has power over me, and I am Thon.
Woo! Thank you, Thon. Thank you, Martin. So important. We hear that tonight. We're going to cross to Darlene now.
What is power? You're thinking. What is truth? Still thinking. Is it a matter of facts or a matter of stats? Is it a false illusion or a sense of delusion? Through the threads of time, it displaces my mind. There is power over the mechanics of my time. There is truth hidden in between each line. This is what I have to say to you and me in this space online. I'm thinking it over and over and over, trying to keep my composure. They say the power's in my hands, right? They say the truth will set me free. So why is so many powerless? Powerless they can't speak, they can't breathe. Powerless they can't see, stuck in the dark, waiting for the light that's in from sight. There is so much which defines me, so much which I can't control. I'm told I'm just a woman, born into this new millennium. My features are dark and cold different. My hair is kinky and rough textures. My skin is darker pigment and melanated tones. My history ingrained into the fabric of my being. From Africa to England, through land, wind and sea. I've lived 21 whole years of my life. That's 21 trips around the sun. That's 12 million cycles in each run. A total number of 12 times the number of months. So 365 times 21 number of days. A calculation of 1,440 minutes in each day. I've seen the beginning of life. I've come close to meeting death. They say money is power, but money doesn't buy happiness. Religion is the root of all evil, but pray for your sins. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's not black and white, full of a law, support the cause, live, laugh, love, dream big, start small. One door closes, another door opens. The greatest power is the power you can't see. It travels in different modes, flying by, running away, slipping through your fingers. You wish you had more. You wish you could turn back. You wish you were limitless. You're the oldest you've ever been, but the youngest you'll ever be. When you first looked at me, I'm sure you had your own assumptions. I mean, it's only human nature, right? I say to you again, so what is power? I hope you've been thinking. So what is truth? I hope my thoughts, my words got you rethinking. Now do you see me? Truthfully, did you watch over the clock, looking at when I was about to stop? Are you missing the point? Yesterday lives in the present, today's in the future. Yesterday lives in the past, today's in the present, tomorrow's set in the future. Here are 4 last words, the time is now. See the change, be the change, greater lives in the exchange.
See the change, be the change. Yes. All right. Please welcome to the stage, Ellie.
I'm not Rain Man. The power of pride in my autism. Stereotypes are everywhere and labels. Why do we need labels? We are not food nor a clothing item. We are human beings at the end of the day, and we are unique. Non-autistic people tend to diagnose autism with specific checkbox descriptions, but in reality we are not boxes to be ticked. People tend to think people with autism love maths and science and nothing else, but the reality is we love different interests across every subject. One idea of autism shouldn't exist. When I mention I have autism, many people think Rain Man immediately. That's the common belief, that everyone on the spectrum is like him. But it's not true. We're all different and we are unique, wonderful people. When I'm happy, I have so much energy. I flap my hands, squeal and make noise. No day's the same, every day's different. And I'm autistic and proud to be me, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Beautiful, Ellie. Thank you. Yes. Woo. Truth To Power Café, Rotherham. Brilliant. Now we're going to cross to Joseph.
People that have power over me specifically are those who are right-wing and have some form of a leadership role in the UK. Specifically those who are ableist, homophobic, transphobic, racist, misogynistic, and those who hate change. Really, really hate change. Those who will see lives ruined in the name of stopping change, stirring up a pure paranoia in the name of stopping change. Those who will create a panic and let the rich get richer and the poorer get poorer, all in an effort to just stop change. I would simply say to them, why? Why attack innocent people? Those that you strip bare of opportunities and expect to be silent. Those that you strip of human rights and expect to be silent. Those that you strip naked of drive, of hope, of ambition and expect to be silent. And what's their end goal? What are they trying to achieve? Push for never-changing beliefs in an ever-changing world, to make people think it's too late, to stop people protesting, otherwise people will realise it's to fall above them, and that they're being sold something unachievable, to achieve a fascist dream of the past that they were promised, but one that does more harm than good. And what if the roles were reversed? How would they feel then, and what side would they be on?
Thank you, Joseph. This is the future. Please welcome to the stage, Brian. Woo!
I'm 15, and I'm currently a student at Friar Academy. You see, I'm not entirely sure who has power over me specifically. But in society, there's the rich and powerful people always trying to knock you down, or just not caring because they gain nothing by helping you. Like, seriously, look all around you. All these people that have dreams and want to do something with their lives, but need help to do so. Can't, because nobody will live to think for the sake of others. Myself, I have a disability called cerebral palsy. And when I was younger, I was always told I wouldn't be able to walk by the doctors. But since I put the effort in, I can manage to live a relatively normal life, still helping my friends and family that have supported me throughout the years, through the best of times and the worst of times. And what I really want to say is people need to be there for each other more helping each other out. Because if everyone works together for once in the community, or even in your own little endeavours without requiring money or a reward, I believe people can achieve great things. All those dreams you have, don't give up on them just because it's a little hard or one person tries to get in your way. You can do great things. We, as a community, can do great things if we just try to be that little bit more caring about others around us. So everyone sat there listening saying, what's the point? Or I'll never succeed. You'll never know if you don't take that step. And even if you can't do it alone, I'm sure there's people out there that are willing to help. As well as this, those with the money or power to make a real difference in someone's lives. I ask you, instead of asking for something in return, for you to take even just a minute out of your time to help someone, Do it because it's the right thing to do. If people just keep pushing people down before they can even try, what's going to happen to us? If nobody tries to make that change, we're all human in the end, so we just have the same chances in life.
God, thank you, Brian. Beautiful. God, I'm feeling so optimistic about our future. Woo! Beautiful. We're now going to cross to Maltiti.
A change in the state of equality within the educational system, the healthcare system and the legal system would contribute to the eradication of discrimination that is engraved into British society and society as a whole. I use my voice as an outlet to present my ideas for change. In terms of my life as a black person, they are definitely not unique to me specifically, as the majority of the black community can relate to my struggles. I want to live in a world where white people do not have power over me. I want to live in a world where I can wear my natural 4C hair and be properly educated about the roots of my own ancestry. I want to live in a world where I can be seen as feminine and not masculinized solely because of my melanin. I want to live in a world where my daily routine isn't filled with microaggressions, to be seen as a person, not an animal to pet. I want to live in a world where people don't ask me vulgar questions. I'm yet to be racially profiled by the police. Yet. My skin is only what you see, although my identity is the blood, bones and lineage within me. I want my sisters, brothers and cousins of the black community to live in a world without hatred but prosperity, to not have to witness another man choked by the knee, not have to hear about a woman killed in her sleep, and yet white people continue to use AAVE and steal black people's products of creativity. Through cultural appropriation, having the audacity. It's those that are white who have power over me. I want to say Black Lives Matter without someone saying all lives matter, when all lives don't matter until Black Lives Matter. I want to overcome the racist white people in power, people of which dominate the healthcare systems, legal system and educational system, and those part of systematic racism, who are mostly government officials and are the dominating figure of those in parliament. I want to overcome them using my voice and through black excellence. No, I'll never be white. I'll never be white and have the privilege of my genetic makeup of melanin in my skin allow me to not be discriminated against, but being part of a strong community that exceeds in excellence through every industry and being part of a beautiful culture and celebrating my hair and my traditions and my country. I'm grateful to be for being a Ghanaian black woman, and I will forever continue to use my voice.
Yeah. Woo! Yes. Thank you, Maltiti. We are Truth To Power Café. We demand that you listen. To everyone at home, everyone watching from home, we demand that you listen. Now, please, welcome to the stage, Jacob.
Hiya. My name is Jacob. I'm 15 years old, and I believe that despite being surrounded by countless powerful forces, from parents, school, to the police and down the street, no one has greater power over me than myself. When it comes to role model rulers, for every great and noble leader, there are many more tyrants corrupted by their own power. At times I wonder if the voice in my head is more comfortable playing the role of tyrant. I mean, would you be friends with someone who spoke to you the way you spoke to yourself? As kingdoms go, my mind and body aren't much of an empire, but in a more personal sense, their value and range is infinite and rests on the power of my imagination. It is both a powerful weapon, but also a frightening foe, often magnified and intensified by my autism, and it pulls me in two directions. On the one hand, I seek happiness and contentment in a life full of adventure and fulfillment, but the other part of me is plagued by fear and self-doubt. In spite of all this, I celebrate the fact that I have ultimate control of my life and mind. The latter is something that can't be taken away. The thing I'd like to say to the person who has power over me is, you've got this. You are good enough.
Woo! Well, I don't know about you lot, but I am feeling rather heroic after that. You've got to slide between the living and the dead. Open up that window in your head. Take the world, shake it, crush it, remake it. Open up that window in your head.
When the moon invades your soul, you want to scream. You're the iceberg in the centre. You're that old bitch dementia. When the moon invades your soul, you want to scream.
When they pull your heartstrings out, it's only love. It's a mix of joy and pain, but you'll come alive again. When they pull your heartstrings out, it's only love. What's that drumbeat? What's that thunder? It's my dad. He went down under, knocking on the door of wonder that never ever ceased to exist inside his creaking heart.
I'm the genie in the bottle. I'm your engine at full throttle. I'm racing down your every road in sight.
To make love? We don't need beds. We'll tear the world to shreds. Racing down that every road in sight. Different gardens, different flowers, diamond caves and silver towers. Draw those curtains, disappear. We won't hear, we won't hear. The only makeshift angels are ourselves, my tattered wings, made from the garbage of my heart. You've got to slide between the living and the dead. Open up that window in your head. Take the world, shake it, crush it, remake it. Open up that window in your head. At the four corners of the imagined world, blow our trumpets, angels. Blow our trumpets, angels. Blow our trumpets, angels. Yes. All right. We are Truth To Power Café. Please put your hands together for Evie. Take a bow, Evie. Woo! Come down the front here. Martin, take a bow. Yes. Brilliant, Martin. Ellie, come take a bow. Woo! Yes. And Brian, come take a bow. Beautiful. Jacob. Yes. I want to say special thanks to Maltiti, Darlene, and Joseph. We have been Truth To Power Café. We are now on tour. Come see us, Lawrence Batley, Stanley Arts in London in March. Thank you, Children's Capital of Culture. Good night.